What do you see as the benefits of the Diploma Corps for students?
To make them become more well-rounded.
Okay, to make them become more well-rounded. Yes?
I think it's where you can really see the development of the learner profile.
Good. Development of the learner profile. Excellent. Yes, ma'am.
It balances out the academics. Leading back to what you said about well-rounded.
Okay. Balances out the academics, leading to a more well-rounded. Yes, sir.
University preparation.
Oh, good one. Hadn't thought about that. University preparation. Yes.
I think in the case of extended essay, it gives them the opportunity to do work that is uniquely their own.
Yes.
Okay. Uniquely original work that's their own. Yes.
I think it gets away from the idea of grade grubbing and actual learning.
Ah, you've hit the crux. Yes. That is where we're headed today as much as we can. Good. Then you guys did excellent. Thank you.
So what are some ways that your school uses technology, specifically to get to the core of IB? Yes, ma'am.
With the managed back system.
Manage back, yes. That's obviously the first one that comes to mind. What are some other programs, platforms? Do your students communicate via Facebook? I know students at our school kind of have some different Facebook groups where they share homework assignments and remind each other. Any schools in here using Edmodo? Okay. Our school has recently started using Edmodo. Our principal has really had a big push. He wants everyone using Edmodo. And the three of us, talked about kind of the benefits of Edmodo. Those of you who don't know Edmodo, it's kind of Facebook for schools. So it's more of a controlled setting. And we thought about using the benefits of that. And we found some great ways to use Edmodo in our school, but we really don't think that doing the EE or some TOK instruction through Facebook is really going to work for us. Now, we did meet somebody the other day who said, that's kind of where her school's direction is going, to do, TOK Facebook. So we don't want to discount that, but that's not really going to work for our specific school. How many of you are familiar with Moodle? This has been our first experience this year with Moodle, and we have really enjoyed it. There are a lot of great features and things that we think that we can really tailor to our school. How many of your schools use a lot of iPads or other types of devices like that? Our school is in the process of trying to procure some iPads, and they're going to do a pilot program next year with all of the seniors and issue them iPads. And we're trying to go, kind of textbook free. And so anyway, there's a big push in our school to embrace technology, and we really wanted to be kind of ahead of the curve with the IB program at our school and figure out what are some ways that we can use iPads and we can use things like Moodle to really hit the needs of our program and our students. All right, so background on EE at our school. Years ago, the EE was entirely an independent student project. How many of your schools still, that's the way that you do the EE, entirely student independent? Okay. That when I came in as an IB teacher, that's how it was done. Obviously, I think there are some benefits for that. As a advisor to students, especially my first couple of years in the IB program, there's a whole lot of procrastination going on. The kids working independently. I really think one of the students I supervised wrote her entire EE in a weekend. So we, as our program has grown, we've really tried to find some ways to move beyond that and give the kids a little bit more structure and support. Some kids can write an EE in a weekend, but most of them, no, not so much. So we're going to talk a little bit about some other ways that we've tried it at our school.
Maybe you've tried these ways as well, and we're not going to spend the whole time on our mistakes, but very quickly we tried to, and I wouldn't say these are entirely mistakes, these were well-intentioned and had some benefits as well, but we then tried for a couple of years to put the extended essay in the English class, because that's where it seems to kind of intuitively make a lot of sense. You've got a writing teacher, you've got some resources that you can guide them through the research process fairly easily. And of course, coming up here on the screen, you'll see some of the pros and cons of that. What we ran into and what this solution is really meant to solve is the issue that there just wasn't a place in our schedule, a place in the time that our students had available to put the EE. You put it somewhere and you're taken away from what was there before. So we had a higher level English course and we were spending quite a bit of time taken away from the prescribed works and from the exam preparation and the writing of papers for the English class to work on the extended essay, which we've already acknowledged is bonus anyway. And so it was kind of a robbing Peter to pay Paul situation wherever we tried to put it. And then, of course, like everything else, we said, hey, TOK's got plenty of time. Let's put the EE in the TOK class, and I'll let my TOK teacher tell you how that went.
I'll try not to use profanity. There were some advantages to putting it in TOK. I think the primary advantage is with the TOK class being part of the core of the hexagon, it allowed us to emphasize the EE and CAS and TOK as really important parts of the IB program. Also, we were able to finally start increasing student accountability because we finally learned. It took us all a while to learn that deadlines are the only way they respond, and that we can't just say, okay, the final paper is due December 18th. We have to say, well, this draft and this draft and so on. And once we figured that out, that was really helpful. And then, of course, just some logistical issues that we were able to do, like counting it as semester exam for TOK. But overall, it was, here's where the profanity comes in. We have been running TOK on a shortened schedule anyway. We've been running it as a senior year course, which we're finally changing. We're working hard to change that. As a result of running it as a senior year course, I only had about 7 months to give them everything. And then when you put EE into that, then a big chunk of my schedule is gone. So we had to just really hammer EE very, very quickly. And it became an issue of product over process. And you're going to hear those words from us a lot today because we have come to believe that it should be process over product and that the product will benefit if the process is emphasized. But the way it was before, it was all product all the time. And also, we just lost a great deal of class time that I couldn't give up. And that leads me to ask you all, you've heard how we have tried to embed EE in the past, and we're going to give you a suggestion for how we're going to do it in the future, but how have you all tried to embed the EE into your programs, and was that successful or unsuccessful? I see a hand back there.
In our school, I'm the assistant coordinator at our school, and our coordinator teaches extended essay. She sees every junior, every senior, 1 hour a week. She steps them through the process.
That's great. And you were waving your hand like this.
Yes, because we also embedded Spanish, but it happens just the same. We don't focus on the process how to review, but on the part.
And Spanish is your A1, I assume.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes.
We embedded it in TOK, but we do TOK over the 2 years, so
Right.
we have no problem.
Okay.
It works really well.
And
Other than the kids, obviously.
we're headed in that direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had the students generate their list of EE questions that they wanted to answer, and then each teacher read over what their topic was going to be, and we selected the student based on their topic and our content area.
So it was all handled by the supervisor?
Yes, she compiled the list, and then we stopped by her office, and we picked 1 to 2 students with the topic that we felt most comfortable with.
1 to 2. Wow, that's nice.
While this wouldn't work in every school necessarily, we do have an extended essay period that's built into the schedule in both 11th and then at the beginning of 12th grade when they're supposed to be winding it down. And we put the periods for the 12th graders on either last period Friday or first period Monday. So once they're done, that becomes a time they can either sleep in or leave school.
All right,
Incentive, yeah.
Chris.